Frame 17 of a possible 19.
Shot to nothing red, but just a little flick on the green has stopped the cue ball from landing nicely on the colour, but the yellow to middle for the next red is definitely on. Goodness me, he hasn't missed many of those. You know, I'm not saying that it's the first sign of a player wilting, because I don't think it's quite as simple as that with Kyren Wilson. He's liable to bounce back at the next time at the table, but might have been a little bit of extra pressure from having to witness Barry Hawkins miraculously making a 61 at the last frame. Well, he deserves to be on something here. He is on one. I mean, he's not holding back, is he? He really has ploughed through the bunch there.
Seven.
If you could get a pinpoint positional shot in here and land on a red, which somehow unlocks the table at the black end, that would be just what he's looking for. Bottom red is in his sights. Well, he appears to have got the cue ball exactly where he's shaping up.
9.
Now, if he's going to play to screw this in off the other red and get on the black into the same pocket, this is a huge shot. I think that's what he's going to try. It's a brilliant shot.
10.
Great vision, because he was looking at that from before he played the yellow. Well, the pressure is just building up, isn't it, now? He'd opened up the frame and then missed that black, forcing it. It's almost like one player just cannot break free from the other, because Barry looked very good at the start of that break, but it was just the extra amount of pace he put on the cue ball. He just lost his accuracy. Kyren had missed a bad yellow to middle, hadn't he? So, you know, they're both feeling it. Well, he might want to play on the black here, although it will only go into the left corner when respotted. Probably a good shot to get the high value colour back on its spot though. So you found an escape route out of bulk.
Eight. Nine.
He'd like to have been just a little bit further down on this red, because this way I think he has to hit the black, which he'd like to have just had to play on the black as it was. He's going to nudge it now.
15.
Hawkins had the chance, missed the cut back black to the left corner, and is now pondering how expensive that's going to be.
Well, Barry Hawkins might have to pin his hopes in the 5 reds in the middle of the table, but as we were saying, you know, this shot has turned it back in favour of the world champion.
31. Six.
Wow. Well, that is... He's quickly looking at the pot, but he might want to just count to 5 here and not rush into this, because this is a horrid shot. I think it needs to just have a pause for a second. The cue ball just, it was like a dead white. It just didn't go anywhere. He put a lot of pace into the pot, but the cue ball just stopped in its tracks. So the plot thickens, really. Had that shot gone right and he finished on the black, it was probably a frame winner. Now, he's got a bit of a problem here.
Kyren Wilson, 37.
Disappointed to see the break end there. A handy lead, no more than that at this stage. Hawkins, on the other hand, delighted that the miss black didn't cost him the frame.
Well, he's looking at another plant, and the cue ball's the problem. It's a long way down from where he'd like it. I mean, if it was right behind the reds, I don't think he could miss the plant, but from there it's a cut back on the first red. So it becomes more difficult. It was a big shot to take on, and if he was ever going to miss it, it was always going to be to the left jaw, because he almost couldn't miss it the other side. He couldn't hit the first thread thin enough to miss it that side. Kyren Wilson would be so very relieved to be back at the table with this chance straight after. Barry went for a dangerous shot there. I know it sounds easy afterwards, but it was awkward.
Six. Seven.
The blue will put him 44 in front, 51 left, so he'd only need one more red to go one up with two to play. Barry Hawkins was hoping to retake the lead for the first time since he made a century at the end of session one this afternoon. But Kyren Wilson has denied him that. And Hawkins is going to have to win the last two frames to claim his fifth ranking title. This is the black Hawkins missed, playing at pace, just overcut it. Wilson not winning the frame at that visit, of course, but Hawkins then took on what looked like quite an ambitious plant, and it didn't work out.
Wilson, 20.
He's coming back. He needs a couple of snookers, so that's entirely understandable. So it's not quite done yet.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a jabby shot there. Of course, he's looking for snookers anyway. But, you know, you wonder where this match is going, what's going to come next. It could be that Barry can summon up something on the assumption he'll lose his frame now and take us all the way, because it's got that feel about it. A match that could go all to the last frame. You never quite know what you're going to get, of course. This, I don't even know what you would call that shot. Cop tap treble or something. Anyway, frame over.
Eight. Nine. Sixteen.
Kyren Wilson moves within a frame of winning his second German Masters crown. Barry Hawkins needs the last two to deny him. The world champion on the cusp now then at the Tempodrome. He leads by 9 frames to 8. Frame 18.
Foul, miss.
Goodness me, that must have been close to hitting.
4.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mikey Kessler's there, but it looked like it was ever so close to hitting that. Just falling the most tiniest fraction short, clearly there. Oh, this one's definitely hit. He kept the same line as well. Everything's still to play for here. Well, as Philip was saying earlier, that there's never been a final in the German Masters that's gone all the way to a decider. I suppose, if nothing else, it suggests we're due one, because they crop up every now and then. And there isn't a lot between the players, but of course, pressure is mounting on both of these guys now. It's not a certainty that either of them are going to be able to just get over the line without a few alarms. Barry, once again, negotiating the snooker that could have caused him a few problems. At this point, he's 1 down with 2 to play. He's got to stop making any mistakes, leaving Kyren in with a chance, because the winning line is now in sight. It's a shot he's very good at, Barry Hawkins. That's swinging the cue ball round those angles in safety. And he's put Kyren Wilson in a little bit of trouble here. Not entirely sure how much, but it looks like the first red is the one he's trying to escape back down to where he's pointing his cue. With a thin contact, they've led up the table. He's done it well. That's another first-class safety shot. This exchange is very good. The other pair of them are playing terrific defensive snooker here. I know that is an art form in itself, really, just to keep your opponent out for long periods, but more so put them in trouble. And there's been a lot of difficult positions handed out in this exchange by both players.
Without a doubt, it's been one of the best finals we've ever seen here in Berlin. Some great breaks, some drama. And who knows how much more is still to come. Hawkins straining every sinew to take this match the distance.
Well, he got some applause, but I think he's left a red here. This is an early chance for Kyren Wilson. So he's won the battle. He's got to go on and win the war now, because it's a very difficult table, but he's given himself this chance to get in. I think he feels he can't get on pink or black, so he's got to steer that cue ball up the table somewhere for the blue or something lower value without hitting a red on the way past. I think it's a very good shot. I don't think he could have finished anywhere else but there. That was any good to him anyway. Now what can he make of this opportunity? Because it is a good one to just put points on the board and apply more pressure
6
to Barry Hawkins.
Seven.
Has it got the legs? No, it hasn't.
Kyren Wilson, 7.
So the break ends early for the world champion. Opportunity knocks for Barry Hawkins. Clearly it's a tough table at the moment.
Yeah, it might be that it's a little heavy now, deep into the last session of the final. Goodness, he's got a bit too much on this. He needs this to knuckle out. It's not as bad as it might have been, but it was
6.
directed, that shot.
Pretty warm inside the Templedrum, not surprising given there are 2,500 people watching. Never mind the heat being generated by the tension of the state of play.
7.
Well, it's okay, but the black's away from the spot, which is always a slight concern. It's not the most regulation angle, but the other thing is that he's got quite awkward cueing. This shot is big. He's done ever so well there. That's such a good shot. What a chance here. Goodness me, this is just when you thought Kyren was about to
14.
stride off into the sunset and get the match won. He missed that blue, didn't reach, surprisingly. Now it's typical of the night, really, isn't it? Just going one way and then the other.
Thank you. 15.
He came very close in the UK Championship final against Judd Trump, who eventually pipped him by 10 frames to 8. Victory tonight would make up for that disappointment in a big way.
23.
Well, the reds have spread a little bit too far and wide, actually. You know, it looked when he first hit this, it was going to be perfect, but as you see, all the reds have just gone off in all different directions, none of which have become easy to pot.
That one didn't threaten the pocket
Very
as he left it. Is there a gap between brown and yellow?
Well, very likely, I'd say, yes, there is. Big gap. And it wasn't close. He was maybe a bit unlucky on the opening of the bunch from the black, but the reds did not go favourably. They opened, but not towards pockets.
So Kyren Wilson, who missed the blue into that pocket just now when he left it short, gets another chance to kill this final off. Hawkins looking pensive, no wonder. He's invested so much into this tournament and this final. Is he going to come up short again?
Yeah. 6.
Meanwhile, Wilson feels he got a heavy contact, so Micah Kessler will clean the cue ball.
Yeah, not happy, is he? And it just feels that at this point there's always a sort of a hurdle ahead of either player when they're just trying to, in this sort of tension, go out and do something that will win them the match, but something crops up that makes it difficult. That is snooker for you. But one thing remains, Kyren knocks balls in with the rest.
7.
He's always had such a confident air about his rest shots. He plays them as though he fully expects to get them every time. He doesn't always, but it just looks like second nature to him.
Well, he can certainly nose his way in front in this frame, you feel, but you know, just judging where the balls are, to win it and pick up the title at this visit, it's going to take some doing.
Thirteen.
Once again, he's finished a little bit in between. The top red to middle is kind of landing the cue ball sort of high on the black and sort of low on the blue, really. So there are problems ahead.
That right centre pocket is causing grief for both players. Wilson's missed twice there now. Hawkins having missed the red, but he's back at the table and still in front by a single point.
Yeah, I mean, it would be easy to attribute this to being under pressure, and clearly that was a factor, but, you know, he wasn't very well placed on the red to get onto a colour. So that was why he played it at that sort of unnaturally fast pace, and that's why you can miss them.
One. Eight.
It's a good shot. I mean, he wanted to get the red out and into play, clearly, but of course, in playing that, there's a chance he won't get the cue ball out onto the colour. He played it nicely. Now he's only nosing ahead by a few. He's 15 in front. So there's plenty of work to do, but it's a good lead, and
14.
he may not need that red by the pink if he can take high enough value colours with the three other reds. Because the red by the pink is the big problem ball.
15.
So red-black here, but he would still need to take red-black with the other red, because he's not going to be taking red-pink at any stage, given where it is. For now, I guess, can't think too far ahead under this pressure. And this is a natural to come in, certainly towards or behind, or even to cannon out that right-hand red. Lovely shot. He wants to look at the scoreboard here. It's important that he gets to just assess this table now. He has to take, I would think, at worst, blue, because that will be 35 in front, 35 on. Doesn't want a low-value colour, because that just brings Kyren Wilson into the frame. Ideally, red-black here. Oh, what a brilliant shot. What a brilliant shot that is. And now, that is just absolute match play for you of the highest order.
What a great break this has been. Under this pressure at the point of no return, Hawkins once again showing his superlative match play ability. This, and we're going the distance. And it's a final that deserves a decider. It's been fantastic all the way through. Kyren Wilson has made the running for a lot of the day. Found himself 5-4 behind at the end of the first session. Made the running early this evening, but he hasn't, try as he might, been able to shake off Barry Hawkins.
Yeah, needless to say, he has to be a little careful still here, because it is just one snooker, and the table is conducive to getting snookers, quite honestly. I can think of a couple of places behind the green or even behind that pink, and it would be a pretty horrendous snooker to be put in. So it's not totally dead in the water, this frame. Not sure what that's done or hasn't done there. It can hit it all right. Barry's not amused, unsurprisingly. Well, the crowd have thoroughly enjoyed that moment. Barry was deep in concentration. Yeah, he wanted he wanted out there, didn't he? He wanted to be well, that all to be over with and the pink to be away from there. Yes, it's slightly precarious. I mean, as I say, it's not done and dusted. You know, a good snooker here would almost put him back in this frame. He only needs one. I mean, you could pot red-black. Actually, there's no reason why he has to leave the red on the table. It's only one snooker. Not chasing a free ball. So that's what he's going to do. And I know that Barry Hawkins has not completely dismissed being left with an awkward snooker. You can sense that. He's too professional to take this position lightly. This has got to go in, though. Well, he should get one here.
8.
Those are the stats. Just that one snooker required to turn the frame around. Oh, maybe overcooked it a little, but he has got the snooker. And it's an effective one. Hawkins slips past the edge of the yellow, game back on in this penultimate frame.
Yeah, and even more concerning is that the colours are now all in potable positions. Whoever pots the yellow could win the frame. This is not a good shot. Has he got it off? What a thing to happen. I mean, he might as well have gone for the yellow now, and now whose turn is it not to be amused now?
You couldn't make it up, could you? Having just got the snooker to get himself back in with a shout of winning this frame without the need of a deciding.
Unbelievable. It was a poor shot, let's be honest. It really was. I mean, the pressure's big. Not a criticism of him. It just wasn't a nicely played shot. I think anything goes here now, you know, because the chasing of a snooker might still amount to Kyren getting this frame won somehow.
So Wilson back to needing a snooker.
Barry will be annoyed there, ball in hand, and not potting the yellow and just putting distance between him and Kyren in the frame. Now he's in this position again. And it's not nice because the right middle pocket is in the way of the natural one cushion escape, so he'd play before the middle with a trace of left on the cue ball and hope to hit the yellow. Now he's left the yellow on, so Kyren puts the cue ball virtually where he wants, and he's likely to fancy getting a snooker again. So the battle is not over.
Getting on for another half-hour frame. Wilson within a frame of the title, but needs a snooker again, having got one and then went in off. But can he lay another fiendish one?
Kyren Wilson 2.
Not a very good effort, quite frankly, and he's feeling the pressure, no doubt. They both are. He's got to ensure that nothing ridiculous happens to the cue ball here in trying to pop this.
This goes in. 2 snookers to tie.
Well, he's probably going to carry on, but it seems very much like we're going all the way, doesn't it? And it's been a terrific final, and now we're getting the side of snooker that a lot of people love to see, where things get very tense, quite late, and, well, anything really can happen from here.
Hawkins can slot this brown. Surely we're going to a decider. What a match. What fabulous entertainment for this capacity tempered room crowd. And for the first time in this, the 15th edition of the German Masters, will need a deciding frame to determine who will become champion. It's 9-all. Listen to the noise. Bedlam in here. And it's Barry Hawkins to get us underway. Frame 19 of 19. It's all down to this.
Well, the crowd are getting a little excited now. It's the final they've been hoping for quite some time. As we were saying earlier, some of the German Masters finals have been either slightly or very one-sided over the years. A wonderful venue, this. I suppose it was worth the risk, but a bit like one earlier on, he felt that that was going in, but it was always a little towards the top jaw. What it doesn't do is pull down with any nap on the cloth. He felt he'd got that. He looks a bit more than a bit disappointed, but he's not a simple shot that he's faced with here, Kyren Wilson. Playing this quite gently, dragging it. No, they've never been easy, and they never will be. Against the nap of the cloth, gently into a Sort of half a pocket. A horror shot to be playing. But he had to take it on. I mean, I wouldn't rule out that at some point the balls get racked up here. It's just that there's never going to be a safety shot played back to bulk, and I can't see either player wanting to take a chance. So it would not surprise me if a re-rack happened in this frame. I'm not saying I want one, but just saying that could happen.
Yep, just as Neil predicted, this frame was going nowhere with reds up the table over the pocket. Neither player, of course, wanting to take any unnecessary risks at this stage of the game with so much on the line in this decider. So we'll go again, just to rack up the drama a few more levels, as if that were required. Barry Hawkins, remember, looking for his 5th ranking title. Kyren Wilson is 9th. He'd become the 4th multiple champion at the German Masters. If he wins, it would be his 3rd title of the season. Only 2 other players have won that many ranking events as a first-time world champion, Stephen Hendry and Judd Trump. A lot at stake.
Deciding frame. Barry Hawkins to break.
So take 2 in the decider here at the Tempodrome.
Well, nobody's gone home. We are approaching midnight local time.
It's amazing how this crowd, who can make so much noise, can then become deathly silent when the play is underway. Just a wonderful atmosphere. It's a very well-played safety shot. And that has been the feature of Barry Hawkins all week, actually. The safety has been of the highest class. Wilson, the heavier scorer. They've both made 2 centuries. Wilson a further run of 93. Oh dear, he caught that all wrong, which is why the cue ball has crashed into the bunch. The black's out of commission at the moment.
Yes, but it's a chance though, isn't it? Because, you know, there's a few on here if he gets the cue ball out onto his colour, first of all. I mean, you wouldn't want to be looking too far ahead. If you're Kyren Wilson, you've got to take this kind of situation with all the tension and what's up for grabs. You just got to look at one shot and then the shot after it, and don't get ahead of yourself at all.
Six. Seven.
But for Kyren Wilson and his family and friends, you know, to be in first is always big. You know, you've given yourself an early chance in the deciding frame.
12.
This is where all the practice and all the hours of working on your technique, it's all about moments like this. This is really where you need that cue action, that grooved cue action to help you through the pressure.
$18.
It feels like he's taken his game to new heights since he lifted the crown at the Crucible at the end of last season.
$19.
It's only served to make him hungrier for lots more success. He's already won the inaugural Gion Grand Prix, the Northern Ireland Open, since becoming world champion. Runner-up at the Masters to Murphy. Came here determined to put that disappointment behind him. And it's now in his hands to make that happen.
$25.
And a very big part of that shot was the fact that pink now goes on the black spot, which has really opened things up. Exactly what he was hoping for, that was.
26.
Only just on that shot, though. He just overhit slightly. Now he's playing on the red by the black. This is a possible way that the break could come to an end. It's a pretty positive shot, but of course these are not unmissable.
32.
Very well done.
Hawkins took on the long red, didn't get close, and that's why the cue ball crashed into the other reds.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get very close to the red. It's normally a shot that Hawkins is good at, but by no means easy. It's just the direction of the cue ball, wasn't it, that he had no control of.
Wilson coping fine at the moment without the black, with the pink on the black spot, blue available, getting ever closer.
45. Six.
Looking understandably concerned.
Play a good shot there to get a lot of topspin on to finish to the left of the red and not be hampered by the other red. He's got a little bit more to do, but he must be feeling pleased with this break. He's under a lot of pressure and he's keeping some fluency. Yeah, I think he was looking at a possible two-red plant, the top and right-hand reds, I think, and might get a chance to see down the line, but you know, it could be that it's one of those, if you're right behind it, it's unmissable. So he's had a long look at the line of the two reds to the right corner. So is the plant on? That's the question. Well, there it is. It's just offset. Goodness me, he's taken the blackout as well. He's taken the blackout. Goodness me, what a thing to happen. He's missed the plant and developed the black. This match is not over.
75 still available to Hawkins as we see the misplant again. Wilson can't believe it. So close to victory there. More drama in store.
Well, I mean, does he play the red on the left and try and pot it directly or off the black? A big pocket, I suppose. It's the only way he can pot one here, I think.
What next? You couldn't make it up.
Now has he left a plant? Because that's the other thing. If there was a plant on there all along to the other pocket, you know, as long as he doesn't go in off, that would have come his way. I don't know if the two balls are in line. Well, they're not. The match is not over, but that was a crushing blow for Hawkins.
And it means Wilson's only one pot away now from the title, barring snookers. 63 the lead, 67 left.
Well, I think from the cue ball up the table, then even though it's not a set plant, you can turn it into one with the cue ball where it is. If the cue ball was down to the right lower, then it's virtually impossible. But this side, it's very gettable, this, and it's to win the tournament. It's German Masters Championship ball.
He missed a plant just now. But he hasn't missed that one. And that's the one that matters most. What a finale. Barry Hawkins will be crushed. He came so close at the UK Championship. And it looks now as though he's going to be denied at the last again here in Berlin. But it's not done just yet. 64 the lead, 59 remaining, so 2 snookers required. That would certainly have ended it with an easy red to follow. But snooker is never that straightforward.
Yes, it was awkward queuing, wasn't it? That was the other problem. I don't think he'd have missed it otherwise, right next to the green ball. Has he gone far enough? Because if he hasn't, then there's nothing really for him here. I think he can maybe a trace of left-hand side. Can make this potable.
Well, this has got to go. This simply has to go.
Has he got the energy? Has he got it in him to take 3 reds and high-value colours, lay a snooker? Has he still got that belief that somehow, you know, he could snatch this frame? It's a long shot, but it's come this far.
Well, Kyren Wilson is still clearly concerned about that scenario. You saw him shaking his head in his chair. Not out of the woods just yet.
He doesn't really want to take reds and pinks. He wants to take reds and blacks, really. It's the other problem. Points are starting to mount otherwise. So that's why he's playing the black when the obvious shot would be the pink. Can't afford the points. Now he's over-screwed. And does it mean he can pot either of the reds even from there? I don't think he can.
16.
So that's quite a serious blow. Got to play safe. And that red that he's just moved is the red he wanted to keep there to play the snooker on the last red.
16.
So he didn't achieve much there, and if this goes in, it's lights out.
Kyren Wilson steeling himself for one last push for the title. No doubt about it now. He puffs out his cheeks. He knows the job is done. What a season he's having as the new world champion. Triumphant in Xi'an. An emphatic winner in Belfast, and now champion again in Berlin. And for Barry Hawkins, once again, it's a case of what might have been. He's played some brilliant stuff throughout this tournament, and in the final, he's pushed Kyren Wilson to the limit. An already brilliant season as reigning world champion has just got a whole lot better for the Warrior. Kyren Wilson becomes a double German Masters champion in surely the finest title match we've ever seen here at the Templedrome. The first ever to go the distance, and it's Wilson who has the last word. He wins an absolute thriller by 10 frames to 9.
Kyren Wilson!
It's a 9th ranking title for Kyren Wilson, his 3rd of the season. Remember, only the great Stephen Hendry and Judd Trump have won that many as a first-time world champion. He has worn the Crucible crown very impressively and goes from strength to strength. He's the complete player. And he's the German Masters champion for a 2nd time as he lifts the Brandon Parker Trophy aloft and will walk away with that first prize